الحمد لله وكفاه والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ونزلنا عليك الكتاب تبيانا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة وبشرى للمسلمين. صدق الله العظيم. We praise Allah and glorify Him, and we beseech Him this night most humbly for His guidance and for His blessings and for His protection as we attempt to address the subject beyond September the 11th attack on America, the future of the Muslim Ummah. And we pray for peace and for blessings on all His noble messengers, and in particular on the last of them all, the blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. I would like to take about 1 hour of speaking time, because tonight I will be much more interested in your writing to me all the questions you have, and not just your questions, your thoughts, your comments. So that tonight is not only my lecture to you, it's also your feedback, because one man can't handle this subject. It is the collective thoughts and the collective wisdom. And wherever I have traveled in the world, and Allah has been so kind, you'll be amazed to know the number of places I've gone. I've invariably benefited from my audiences. I've learned so much from my audiences. We begin in Allah's blessed name. The ayah of the Quran, of course, Surah An-Nahl, I always begin with this ayah. And we sent down the book, the Quran, on thee, O Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, that this Quran might explain all things. And therefore that this Quran might explain the strange world in which we're living today. It's not just politically strange. With its political globalization, moving in the direction of world government. And tomorrow when the United Nations will disappear. It's not only strange in its economy, moving in the direction of globalization of an economy, a world economy, in which one people will now enslave all of mankind. It's not only strange in respect of the emergence of one way of life, one culture. I call it the blue jeans Jamaat. Everybody living the same way. Everybody having the same diseases around the world. Being born the same way, being dying the same way, being buried the same way around the world. It's not only strange in terms of what is happening to mankind, but what is happening to the environment, the earth. Around the world. The same thing, which is why they had that conference in what used to be called Johannesburg, now it's Igoli, Gauteng, the Johannesburg World Summit. But in addition to this, there's also something else strange happening, and that is the confirmation of the hadith. The Prophet said sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, and you take this hadith home with you tonight as you ponder the issues. He said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود غريبا. When Islam began, it was something strange and therefore different from everything else in the world. And Islam will one day return to that state of being something strange and different from everything else in the world. And we are now living in that age in which Islam, not part-time Islam, no, we're talking about the Islam of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that Islam is becoming something stranger and stranger, something different from the rest of the world, different from that globalized political order, different from that globalized world economy, different from that globalized culture or way of life. Like a square peg in a round hole. But not for Islamic modernism. I don't know whether you ever met it. A strange creature called Islamic modernism. It was it was alive and very well healthy in Malaysia until a great axe fell upon it a few years ago. I warned them, but they wouldn't listen to me. Islamic modernism, of which my teacher Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari Rahimahullah warned, and his book is downstairs, the best book on Islam in my opinion ever written in the English language is his 2-volume work, The Quranic Foundations and Structure of Muslim Society. My teacher of blessed memory, is downstairs. Islamic modernism, an attempt to reinterpret the religion, to subject Islam to a progressive interpretation so that it can fit in with the modern world, so that America can sit down and have dinner with Islam. An attempt to reinterpret the religion, to subject Islam to a progressive interpretation so that it can fit in with the modern world, so that America can sit down and have dinner with Islam. So in the United States, while I was there, I saw this strange version of American Islam emerging from a large section of the African American Muslim community, an American version of Islam that America would be comfortable with and sit down and have dinner with this Islam. Islamic modernism, trying to make Islam to be in harmony with the modern world. But the Islam of Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is today becoming what it was at the time when it emerged. Something ghareeb, something strange, something different. Having said that, I don't need to deliver the rest of the lecture, because you now can understand the analysis which follows. And there are many opinions that you now have to discard and throw it into the garbage bin, when once you hold on to this hadith of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. On September the 11th, the United States was attacked. We know from eyewitnesses that there were 2 aircrafts which struck at the Twin Towers in Lower Manhattan. And it could be that the aircrafts themselves caused the buildings to collapse. It could also be they got some help for some dynamite and so on planting before. We know from eyewitnesses that there was a 3rd aircraft which crashed in Pennsylvania. And no less an authority than the White House itself confirmed that aircraft the plan was for that aircraft to target Air Force One and to target the White House. And we have unconfirmed reports because no one saw, and there was no evidence on the ground. Absolutely astonishing, isn't it? A huge aircraft slams into a building and there is no evidence that the aircraft ever existed. The Pentagon. America was attacked on September the 11th in circumstances which were absolutely suspicious. Who attacked America on September the 11th? And we have said that there is a massive cover-up on the part of the Bush administration. And we have anticipated that those who have information so far concealed will eventually release that information in order to embarrass the US government as part of a strategy to bring down America. And so CNN is going to be broadcasting it. And the New York Times is going to have a field day. And all those who control the media in the United States are now going to go to work to lavishly publish all of this information which demonstrates beyond doubt that the US administration was involved in a massive cover-up. Who attacked America on September the 11th? We used a method. We said, since we do not have the evidence which can be used in a court of law, let us look to see who has benefited. And when we use that method of analysis, we have come to the conclusion that the only beneficiary of the September 11th attack on America has been far and away the State of Israel. There is a little booklet outside, a Muslim response to the attack on America. It's just about 25, 28 pages. I want to suggest to you, and it's very cheap, I think maybe $2. I want to suggest to you it might be a good idea to take this booklet and give it out to people who you think ought to have a little bit of brainstorming. Because when they read this, they'll be stunned. They won't get this in their newspapers and from the mainstream media in this country. But when they read this, I think they're going to have, for some of them, an intellectual wake-up call. So that booklet is downstairs. We said that those who attacked America, therefore, must have at their core the Israeli Mossad. And they must have benefit and help from many others within the United States, within the administration, even from within the White House. When we look at their strategy, we see that they put on board the aircraft a large number of Saudis. Sounds suspicious. Why so many Saudis? And these are not Saudis who are well known for their Islamic fervor, for being what they call militants. No, these are middle of the road, normal Saudis who drive BMWs. People who attended American universities, for example.